What's up, you Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, man? This your boy EC22, the Fab with the Fan channel, man. We are in this thing for another live podcast for the Fab with the Fan channel. And before I go any further, like, subscribe, share, leave comments. And once again, as always, we're in the house with your favorite Philly fan, 10-0. What's going on, Max? What's going on? How you living, bro?
Oh man, I'm doing real good. You see the shades? I got put them on because our future's so bright. Oh man,
I like it. The future is bright. As you can see, man, we are Philly all the way up on this podcast, man. Listen, fan with a fan. What can I say? Oh man, but listen, man, let's dive right into it. High school. Uh, real quick, Duncanville is still in this for the North Texas area schools, at least the schools I'll be watching, because I can't remember all the North Texas schools that are still in it, or at least the Metroplex. But I know DeSoto, Duncanville is still in it. I believe Lancaster is still in it. I know South Oak Cliff is still in it. I think once again down to East Texas, not North Texas, but East Texas. My other hometown, Jasper, is still in it. Longview is still in it. Another East Texas favorite of mine. So there you have it. Those are the teams that we're going to be watching. And stay tuned for this Thursday, Friday, as well as Saturday. I think some games are played on Saturday, man, for the Texas high school playoffs, man. Please get in that thing, man. Root for your favorite team. College. Okay. um, well, I think a lot of the conference championships are set. Uh, I still don't quite know what's going on with the Big 12. I've been hearing some conflicting reports. Let me see if they changed anything real quick with the Big 12 as far as who has the championship game. Uh, let's see here. Big 12. And somebody's coming in the comment section. He said, oh my God. I need you to answer him.
why the mask? Why not?
Right. So according to ESPN, there's Oklahoma State and Texas in the Big 12 game. What up, Ray? Thanks for joining us, man. We really appreciate you, man, for tuning in. Give us something to talk about on tomorrow. But man, please stay up with the comments. Yo, so there have it. What a wild game for Michigan and Ohio State, man. Man, love that game. You know, I'm not even Ohio State or Michigan fan, but somehow, some way, I found myself rooting for Michigan, not Michigan State, but Michigan. I found myself rooting for Michigan for whatever reason. But I'm glad they won. And we're going to see. I think they've already put out the playoff schedule, whatever. But we'll get into that on actually Thursday. Expectation for the college playoffs. We'll get into that Thursday as we do our pick 'em. I'm glad I got college out there because college is coming to an end, and it's been fun. It's been fun. Um, but let's go to the NFL. Let's waste no time. Max, what are your thoughts on the NFL Week 12?
I'm pretty sure we know who the league MVP should be this season.
No, we don't know for sure who the league
Yes,
MVP
we
should be.
do. You're wearing his jersey. I'm wearing his jersey. We know who should be league MVP.
Hey, we gonna stay right there. Hey, you know what? Now hold up. Last week you said Lamar Jackson. So what changed for league MVP?
You told me to name someone other than my player.
So because I told you next, so
It's
so
always
you
gonna
was
be
forced to
Jalen
pick Lamar
Hurts.
Jackson. You know what? I am definitely with you. He's definitely deserving of MVP the way he's been playing. But we'll dive in there in a minute. Let's go down to Thursday's games, man. Listen, Thursday games, starting out with the Packers and the Lions. What do you think about that game? Or was you able to watch from your truck?
I'm happy the Lions lost, man.
And yeah, you said that on the week of pick'ems on when we did it on Tuesday, you wanted the Lions to lose. Um, I wasn't happy the Lions lost, honestly. But I'm gonna tell you what I saw. Dan Campbell, I mean, they had 3 fumbles, 1 was covered for a touchdown, and 3 turnover on down. So it's basically 6 turnovers, and they still only lost by a touchdown. Dan Campbell, coming from behind, was not afraid of the Green Bay Packers. And I figured that as a coach, he's a guy who's going to push it to the limit. And that's one thing I love about him. If you're going to do it any team, why not this team? Because at this point, all you got to do is beat the top of your division, and ain't nobody in that division is going to catch up to Detroit no time soon. So why not gamble, win or lose with the Green Bay Packers and try some stuff? Going on for a 4th-and-1 shotgun. Instead of leaving points off the board. Come on now. 3 turnover on downs. By my recollection, that's 9 points. He could have scored a touchdown. At least a field goal. They lost by what? 7? That's a game ball. That's a game right there. So, but like I say, that's Dan Campbell. That's the way he plays. I love it. If you're gonna do it against your team, because they're about to come into a stretch down the road. So I love it.
I don't. That's not smart, man.
It may not be, huh?
You gotta be smart with the playoff seedings, man. You want home field advantage as much as possible, man. Don't gamble like that. It worked out against the Bears. Don't gamble against the Packers, man. It might not.
Well,
work out.
Yeah, home field advantage, but at the end of the day, it's just like, they're going to be the number 1 seed. So being the number 1 seed, they're going to have home field advantage, at least the first round. Well, the home field advantage don't get, the number 1 seed don't get home field advantage?
And they're not going to be number 1 seed.
Who's going to come out of that? I'm not talking about the number 1 overall. I'm talking about because whoever the number 1 seed, which would be Philadelphia, get the first round bye, right? So that first game, they'll probably be playing. If they stay the way it stands right now, they'll be playing who? The Vikings?
I believe so.
So, like I said, a divisional game, they ain't worried about that. This is the middle of the season. You try it. I don't care. You try it. It's no big deal. Cowboys and Commanders. You got nothing to say?
I hate that they pulled out a turkey leg at the end of the game, and they were eating before the game even
Explain
ended.
to me why you hate they pull out a turkey leg.
You're playing a professional game. You don't eat during the game while you're playing it, man.
We gonna get into a professional game here in a little bit when we get to your team. You know what? Man. I totally understand your point of view on that, and I get it. But let me say this from my perspective. And I've heard a lot of people make a lot of trash talk talking about how the Cowboys played as well against teams they should win. At the end of the day, if you play on a team you should win, why not blow them out? You don't go off from there and play a team you should win and barely win. So whether they're playing the 49ers or the Eagles or whatever, they're playing the Commanders. They played against the 49ers. They played against the Eagles. They lost to both those teams. And now they're playing a team they should win. You blow them out. The same way they did the Jets, the same way they did the Giants both times. This is what you do when you're an organization. Now, I'm not mad at the argument, Max, for somebody talking about the way they play against a team that's not ranked and how everybody makes it seem like the Cowboys are, are the hottest team based on what they did on Thursday. But what I will say this is Thanksgiving. This is a home game. At this point, the Cowboys blew out. Let the fans have this one. I think that's fair to say. The people who pay extra to go to that game to miss time with their family, you don't want to be sitting around biting your nails in the third and fourth quarter. For me, I think it's fair to say that. Have fun at the stadium. You got there on Thanksgiving. Cowboys blew the team out. Have fun. Don't hate on the Cowboys. Let's say that for next week or whenever they play somebody else. Let's save it for another day. Had it been a away game, if they're playing somewhere else on Thanksgiving, maybe you can say that. But a home game, let the fans have it. Let the fan have it. That's all I'm going to say about that. 49ers and Seahawks. What is that? No, is that you? Oh, what about the Seahawks?
Seahawks, man, they let down, man. I really wanted them to be competitive, and they were when they started the second half, and then they just turned off right away.
So I'm gonna say this. So everybody has been suggesting, based on the Seahawks record, they're a contender. But once again, the Seahawks haven't beat anybody worth shouting about. And so it's a different story when it comes down to a top team like the Cowboys. They can beat people that nobody's thinking about, and all of a sudden their team, they're overrated. You got the Seahawks who are beating teams they should beat. Oh, they're a tough contender team. So I think fair should be fair, in my opinion on that. The 49ers did what the 49ers supposed to do against the Seahawks team, and that's to put the smack down on and beat them down. That's just my opinion. The same way what the Dolphins did to Jets. The Dolphins supposed to put the smack down on the Jets. You got 31-13 for 49ers and Seahawks, and 34-13 for the Dolphins and the Jets. And then Jets played on Black Friday, Friday night. Going into Sunday, we're going to start from the bottom. Sunday
The
night.
New York Giants. Oh, Sunday night
Sunday
game.
night.
All right.
Chargers and Ravens.
Lamar Jackson does it, man.
I'm gonna double back to Lamar Jackson, but the Chargers are they overrated? Can I get you to finally say that? You made me say Josh Allen is overrated. Can you finally say the Chargers overrated? Because people keep getting them all this fanfare, and I'm not understanding.
It's not that the Chargers are overrated. They just can't piece it together, man. But yes, they're overrated when they should be winning.
Shannon Sharp says this. Shannon Sharp says, you are what you repeatedly do. And this is what they repeatedly do. They lose. So therefore, they are. Josh Allen, I fought to say Josh Allen's overrated because he is a bomb.com quarterback. Whether you win or lose, interceptions thrown or not. But based on him losing the game, had Josh Allen not lost those games and still played poorly, no one would have said anything. But because he's been losing all these games, I had to accept the fact that Josh Allen is overrated. And I understand your perspective. Everybody wants to make the Chargers be that team. But at the end of the day, it's hard for me, speaking from a fan perspective of the Chargers, they need to do more. And therefore, I cannot give them the love that I want to give them because I do like the Chargers. I just can't give them that love because they just ain't won. I mean, and I'm pretty sure the people in the other half of LA will say the same. It's hard for them to just really rah-rah behind their team. Of course, you're a fan of that team, but they need to do better.
Honestly, the team I will compare the Chargers to at the moment with what they have done this season, I would compare them to Washington. They can hang out there on offense, but their defense will always lose the game for them. They can have some of the top numbers out there, but their defense will always let them down because you can never count on their defense to make a stop.
Bro, they put up 2 points against the 10 points. The Ravens ain't like they're a top defense. They have some good defensive. They're average defense. They're not like they're the Browns. They're not like the Cowboys, the Eagles, or the 49ers. They're average defense. They put up 10 points. That's offense.
And Washington did the same thing on Thursday.
Yep. But the Washington gave y'all a fight. From one top tier team to the next. They gave y'all a fight, and y'all came out on top. And the Cowboys, did what they did. I'm not going to say Cowboys have necessarily a better defense, but I'm just saying that Cowboys played a better defensive game than y'all did against the Commanders. But at the end of the day, it's just like, But I hear what you're saying. They are their team. Broncos and the Browns. Yeah.
Not much to say about that game, man. It was hard to watch.
I believe that even if Deshaun Watson was in that game, the results been the same because they tried their best to put the ball in DTR's hand, and it just wasn't working for him. It just wasn't working for him. They didn't run the ball enough to me. I mean, he tried to run a little bit. I mean, I don't know. They just how much they got. Come on, they do. Let's see here. Their running game. Oh, where the running game in? They got collective. Oh, wait a minute. Collectively, they got 107 yards rushing collectively.
Collectively,
Jerome Ford had a good game, 60, 65 yards. Kareem Hunt only had 22 yards out 7 carries, which he's got to do better than that. But I mean, DTR had 21 yards off 5 carries. I mean, they got to do better from their running game on that. DTR threw for 134 yards. PJ Walker got in the game for a little bit and 56 yards. I mean, Russell Westbrook didn't throw a better game, but they got out coached. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Detroit, Denver has been out coaching these teams. They out coached Andy Reid. They've out coached the whoever the coach is of the Browns. I forget his name. They out coached the Browns. They out coached the Chiefs. Out coached Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? So they just outcoached Bill and Sean. So, they just been doing their dang thing, and I'm not even mad at them for it. They've really been playing. Now, here's the crazy thing. I'm gonna tell you what I heard before that game, and this is gonna sound real ludicrous to you, especially to you and us representing. Do you know, prior to that game, somebody had the nerve and the audacity and the gall and the guts to say that if Denver wins that game, they'll be the hottest team in the NFL. I don't even want to disrespect the analyst or the comment who made that comment, but I heard somebody vocalize that. They said if the Denver Broncos win that game, they will be the hottest team in the NFL. Not to mention the fact that the Eagles are 10-1. No, forget about that. You know what I'm saying?
They'll be relevant. I wouldn't say they'll talk of the town, but at least they'll be relevant. And they'll be relevant for the wrong reasons. Yes, they won, but how did you win?
Yeah, it's crazy. Moving on. Rams beating up Arizona. They were supposed to do what they were supposed to do. The Titans beating up the Panthers. That was a close game. I really, really, really want to not CJ Stroud, but I really wanted Bryce Young to win the game. I voted for him to win, and they just couldn't seem to pull it together. Will Levis is looking pretty good. I think if they're going to get them some more players, I think they're going to look pretty good going down the stretch. And I think that he's a good keeper.
Just saying, man.
Brian Daboll and Bill Belichick. Man, there's been some trash talking about Bill Belichick over the airways with media. That poor forget bad game. That was a bad game to watch. Oh my God, it was a bad game.
That was the most boringest game I've seen this whole season, man.
Oh my God. To me, it's a straight up head nod. It's like if you want to go to sleep, if you are dealing with insomnia, all you got to do is replay that Giants and Patriots game, and trust me, you will go to sleep within the first 15 minutes. Watch it. That game was, oh my God, it will not rock you completely to sleep. And
all the Giants won with field goals. Let that sink in. They only won out of 4 field goals. No TDs, nothing at all. Just field goals.
It's bad. It was bad. But they did what they did. They won, and we can just say we don't want to see that again. The Falcons and the Saints. Falcons put up a real good game against the Saints. I like what I saw out of the Falcons. Right now, Falcons are sitting on top of the division. That's not saying a whole lot, but that division is not great. But nevertheless, Atlanta Falcons, stand tall. You're number 1. Buccaneers and the Colts. Sad. What's going on, Mike Evans? He had a lot of drops.
He wants a new contract. They're not going to give it to him. So
not with all those drops.
Exactly. Why perform if you're not getting paid for it?
My thoughts exactly. CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. Awesome game. The turnovers didn't help, but awesome game. Awesome game by both guys, man. Dude, I'm not going to say that I was always have been a fan of Trevor Lawrence, but I'm liking his game, man. I'm liking that Jaguars defense, man. And, you know, I like Houston. They still got a little ways to go. I think you give them a year or two. I think they'll be a contender, especially they got to get some button up a few little things. But that Jaguars team, they have just as good a shot of any other team. And I know this is going to sound blasphemous to anybody else, but I don't care. This is football. Any given Sunday, right? They have the chance of anybody or any other team to come out of the AFC. They can beat anybody. There's not a team out there that they cannot beat. Forget what their records say. That team look good. And they're well coached. They're well coached, man. They are well coached, man.
I don't know. They're coached by a coach that won a Super Bowl, man.
Yeah. Yes, we know that. We know that Doug Peters.
There's a statue out there of him.
The Steelers and the Bengals game, that game should have been a whole lot, should have been a bigger blowout. I mean, we're not gonna knock the Bengals defense. They have a so-so defense. I think the Steelers, with the new offensive coordinator getting in, it was a rough game, but I think they pulled it out. Next week should be better. At least put up more points on the board. The Chiefs and the Raiders. Stephen A. Smith, when the Raiders went up 14-0, Stephen A. Smith tagged out on YouTube, which I know why he does this, right? Because he wouldn't have dared said this on ESPN. On YouTube, it's all about the algorithm, right? Clickbait. His quote was saying, and I state, remember, even as I watch First Take this week, which I normally don't do, they're still considering Patrick Mahomes to be the premium quarterback in the league and is destined to go to another Super Bowl and possibly win it. Regardless of what the Eagles are doing, regardless of what the Cowboys are doing, regardless of what Buffalo is doing, they still choosing Patrick Mahomes at this particular point. And there's a slight edge right with Jalen Hurts, right? We know what I'm saying? We're just saying that. This is what they say on their day job. Because he's on YouTube, now he's joining, and he can't tell me he's joining to the clickbait society, and his caption was, the Kansas City Chiefs are not a contender. When they went 14, when they was down 14-0. And I'm sitting back like, see, Stephen A., that's how you lose your credibility. Stay true to yourself, sir. I know you got to get YouTube clicks and stuff like that, but stay to your true self, man. You don't, wait till the end of the game. I know you want people to click on your stuff during the game, but, there's nothing, I mean, dude, they went 31-3 after that. They must have saw his thing and just said, they went off. They went straight off. They went snap off at 31-3 after that. So, I mean, that's what, and it's a divisional game too. That's what Kansas City is supposed to do. They're supposed to win that game. They had a few little mishaps early on, but at the end of the day, they reminded the Raiders exactly who they were.
They took offense to what happened last week when they told them they scored how many points in the second half. So they decided to do their thing in the second half and prove that they can
that's
score.
One thing Kansas City typically don't do is score in the second half, but they have to show the world that it's any given Sunday. You can't sit around and throw these bogus stats out there and analytics out there. It's like, man, this is football. You play to win. How will you win? You win. We're getting to the stats and all this stuff like the analytics because we're fantasy football contenders and stuff like that, and we got to have something to talk about. But at the end of the day, they're the one on the gridirons doing what they got to do. Going into get into this right here. Quarterback stats for this week, man. Congratulations, Trevor Lawrence, man. He tops the list as far as the passing leaders, 364 yards, one touchdown, in an INT, no sacks. Josh Allen came up under that with 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT, 1 sack. Jared Goff came up under him, 332, 2 touchdowns, 3 sacks. Dak Prescott came on the list as number 4, 331, with 4 touchdowns, no sacks, no interceptions, no fumbles. Jared Goff had 3 fumbles. He showed did. I forgot I watched that game. And CJ Stroud rounded off on number 5 list with 304 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 sacks, and no fumbles, no INT. So by looking at this list, I know Trevor Lawrence threw for 364 yards, but You got to give Dak his props on that. 331, four touchdowns. But we'll double back on that real quick. Kyron Williams, welcome back, Kyron Williams, man. I mean, the dude is a beast. 143 yards. Only no touchdowns though, but that's okay. Run CMC did his thing, 114 with 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 110, 1 touchdown. Rashid White for Tampa Bay, 100 yards with no touchdowns. And then Najee Harris, welcome back, Najee Harris, for 99 yards, 1 touchdown. Receivers on the list. Hey, Pat Farmer, we got a tight end other than Kelsey on this list. Pat Farmer from Pittsburgh, man, welcome back, man. I'm glad they got him involved. And it's almost like you got offensive coordinator, go to your tight end. Well, everybody else trying to figure out routes and stuff like that, go to your tight end. And that's what they did. 120 yards, man, but no touchdown. That's okay. DJ Moore for Chicago. Obviously, we know what the kid can do. 114 yards by him. Jalen Waddle, 114 yards. And Chris Olave had 114 yards, but he went out in the third quarter. Had he would have continued that game, he probably been top of that list because the dude was on fire until he got injured. So with the concussion. And then a new guy, Jalen Wyatt from the New York Giants. They found somebody to throw it to. He was probably wide open because nobody cares. With 109 yards. We talked about the quarterbacks, and we're going to get into this game. When you talk about the quarterbacks, with all these guys shooting over 300 yards in their respective games, Dak, like I said, obviously the most impressive on this list with 331 yards with 4 TDs. Josh Allen had a heck of a game. He played the game that Josh Allen is supposed to play. Because what they don't show was the touchdowns, the rushing touchdown was on his list, which I think he had 2. So basically 4 touchdowns, just like that. So I mean, he welcome back Josh Allen, playing the way we know he's supposed to play. And I apologize. He must have watched the Fat Weather Fan channel when they made me say that he was underrated, and he came out against those Eagles who made me say he was underrated and played a heck of a game. But a little bit too late. The game of the week. Max, take it away. The game of the week. Take it away.
He's still overrated, bro. He's still overrated.
Yeah.
They changed the rules for him in overtime, and he still can't get it done in overtime. He's still overrated.
Hey, before we get into the last discussion and talking about the Eagles game, man, let's go into a quick commercial break real quick. All right. Yo, listen, we are back with the Fat Weather Fan channel, man. Listen, if you see what I got in my hand, you see what I got right here. This is Drip Valley's custom tumblers, man. I got this from Drip Valley on Instagram, man. Please go over to Drip Valley. The actual Fat Weather Fan shirt that Max had on last week was from Drip Valley. They also got this tumbler here. Just go over to Instagram, Drip Valley 1 on Instagram, man. Please go over there. If you're into merchandise, if you want to get some stuff custom made, drop on over to Drip Valley 1, man. Put a comment in the DM. They'll definitely hook you up, man. They got their own stuff. They got their own designs, but if you want to send a custom design, you can. But they got a lot of different designs out there. They can put on tumblers, t-shirts, and stuff like that. Man, please go over to Drip Valley, man. Just talk to them, man, and see what they can do for you. We're back, man. Max, listen, it's on you, bro. Take it away. The game of the week.
Down by double digits, 17-7. Our right tackler is gone. Lane Johnson's out. He's not in the game. Dallas Goedert's not out. Dallas Goedert's not in the game. And what happened? Jalen Hurts probably was on his phone during halftime, saw social media saying that his game sucked right now. He wasn't doing anything. What happened? He came out. He decided to put on a Superman cape and did his thing and lifted us to victory, man.
For those of you who are Fairweather fans, I'm gonna tell you why I love this show. I wish I could show you this tweet that came out at Sunday at 2:05 p.m. The tweet said, and it's from your favorite Philly fan, 10-1 Max. We're gonna lose this. We're gonna lose. Lane Johnson is out, and he had the cry emoji 3 times on there. I sent him a text shortly after this, and I said, "Nope, Lane is only one piece. Next man up, do your job. You gotta believe real Philly fans. Please stand up." And I had a picture of me in my Phillies gear. I did not get a response or a comment or a text back until he texted me for the link to this podcast today. I'm saying that because I know we got the little Philly mask on, but I'm the real Philly fan because I didn't give up hope. I knew they was going to win that game, and I know they always win by committee. I did not lose faith. Max, at what point of time in the game did you start to change your mind? And be honest with the people if you can.
Literally at halftime.
At halftime, you saw they had a chance.
This team always plays way better when we are trailing than when we are winning or tied up. We're the number one team when we're trailing by double digits.
And I know you can agree with this statement. I'm not going to say I'm a very smart man. I'm not going to say that I'm a great judge of character. Obviously, I had some mishaps in those areas. But watching football, there's a certain demeanor that you have when you're playing a sport. And not one time did I see Jalen Hurts, anybody on the field organization, and definitely not from Nick Sirianni. Nobody seemed to be in panic mode. Sean McDermott, you're not going to get a lot of emotion from him, but I saw a lot of just shakiness from Josh Allen, a lot of fidgety from their receivers, trying to figure out who's going to get what players being called. They played a good game, but it's almost like they was playing from behind when they had the lead. And at that point, I said, all they need is a turnover. That's all I kept saying. All they need is a turnover. They need to stop and a turnover. And I forgot what quarter. I think it was the third or fourth quarter. They got to stop and they got a turnover. And then boom, Philly got the lead. And then at that point, it was back and forth all the way until overtime. The coolest part about that whole game is, and I know you saw it, when y'all kicker goes out there and kicks a 59-yard field goal in the rain, swirling wind, clutch. Everybody, Philly fans is crazy. Everybody's picking up the kicker like he done just won the game. They got a picture, several shots of Jalen sitting on the bench shaking his head like, this is not what I wanted. Saying like, this is not the game, folks. Everybody chill the heck out. And they changed the playoff rules for Josh Allen because all the times he's been to OT, he's never got the ball. He's never won OT and he's never got the ball. They got the ball first. This was Josh Allen's chance to show the world why he's Josh Allen, as why it's like Eminem. Eminem go last for a reason. You know what I'm saying? This was Josh Allen's prime time to show the world, this is the reason why y'all need to give me the ball. And they came up with field goal. And then Jalen Hurts said, we gave you your shot, and let me show you what I'm going to do, because we're not going to go back and forth. And who scored the touchdown? Jalen Hurts took him down there and then ran that joker in on his own, took a play out of Josh Allen's own book to win the game. And with his arms spread wide, looking at Philly fans like, this is the outcome that I wanted, not a 59-yard field goal to go to overtime. That is your QB performance of the goddamn year, in my opinion. Regardless if he only had over 200-something, maybe 200-something yards passed, over 200, not even less than 300 yards passing, but 5 touchdowns. I don't care what anybody say, regardless of what Trevor Lawrence did, what Dak did. In my opinion, god dang, Jalen Hurts deserved the QB performance of the god dang decade for that performance, man. The dude is too smooth. And Max, you're supposed to be talking. Jump in anytime you want to, man. This is your team.
On that Jalen Hurts touchdown run, if you look at the Bills defense, they were playing checkers while we were playing chess. They gave us
absolutely
even before pre-snap, everyone already knew. Okay, we see how the defense is. Jalen Hurts is just gonna take off. Everyone in Philly, if you ask any Philly fan, if they see that defense they put up there on that play, we
Yeah,
all know what's going to happen. Jalen
yeah.
Hurts is just gonna run it off, and I don't know what the Bills were thinking, but they were playing good up until that one play. They're gonna regret that play.
Because they were playing scared. They made a comment, and they made a comment on I think it was on either Ocho or Nightcap with Chad one of them shows, like they made a comment, and even one of my partners echoed that comment today, was saying that the Eagles, the way they play, one of these days is going to come back to bite them, playing from behind. They play from behind, they come back and win. Even not you and I, we ran around the table about that a couple of times, them playing edgy, and one day it's going to bite them. And this reminds me, I don't know if you remember this, but Shaquille O'Neal's last couple of years in the league, completely not the same Shaquille O'Neal with Shaq and Kobe, completely not the same. But because he was on the floor, he posed a threat, and everybody was afraid of him. The Eagles, the Bills, I don't know what any other team would do, but the Bills played scared. They played scared. And the Eagles going to win the way they're supposed to win, by committee. And only one other team I know in the league that plays that way is the Dallas Cowboys. Right now, Lamar Jackson, the question is, who is the number one quarterback in the league? And obviously, you picked him to be Jalen Hurts to be MVP, which, saying at this particular point in the season, I got to give you that. But right now, I mean, regardless of what we seen Lamar Jackson do, regardless of what we've seen Patrick Mahomes do, bro, I'm just not, dude. I mean, ain't nobody really just being consistent right now, honestly. But Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's been most consistent. It ain't sexy. It ain't 300, 400 some yards a game. But I mean, the Eagles organization is an organization that say, listen, we're going to win by committee. We're going to do it our way. We're going to out-coach you. We're going to out-play scheme you. We're going to out-grit you. I don't know. I like what I'm saying. 10-1.
We don't need one player to be flashy. Like you said, it's by committee.
Yep.
Look at the 49ers when they went on their 3-game losing streak. One player went down, another player went down, another player went down. What happened? Panic mode hit. Oh, maybe Brock Purdy is not as elite as we thought we were. And now that they're blowing people out, oh, Brock Purdy is elite. Yep. No, man. It's a system they have in place.
Yeah.
Eagles, we can be behind by so much. Our defense is going to pump us up by getting those turnovers. Once the defense starts getting those turnovers, we're going to convert them to points and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking
any team in the league, any 32 team in the league, I think there are a few players I think that can actually fit in those teams and actually win. And I'm not talking about just be above 500. I'm talking about can actually contend. That's Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. I think you can put those two players in any of, even if you take them to the goddamn, if you had Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts playing in Carolina, it's a different ball game. It's a completely different ball game. It's just because it's their detail to the game. You know what I'm saying? And the Carolina is the worst team in the league. You know what I'm saying? You put them in, and that team has an offensive line that's garbage. But because Patrick Mahomes and it's like Jordan was not a 3-point threat. Jordan was just a scorer. It's like my job is to put the ball in the basket. And that's one thing I look at Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. These guys are going to find ways to win. We're going to either run and do it with our legs. We're going to make superstars out of people you do not know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with all the A.J. Brown hype, we're not going to throw to this guy hardly. We're going to throw somebody else. We're going to make somebody else get. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do. You know what I'm saying? And you're getting the right coaching. So I'm excited about what Philly got going on. And I keep going on about Philly, but you got the last final words on Philly. It's your team, but it's my team right now.
49ers are next. Dallas Goedert is coming back. They've been doing a lot of trash talking over the offseason. Time to shut up and let's see who's who comes out on top this week.
Right, right.
No excuses this time. You got a quarterback.
Right.
Don't cry. Don't cry if y'all lose, man. No excuses, man.
Who that? The 49ers?
Mm-hmm. It's time for excuses is done. Y'all got your team at 100%. We'll see what happens.
So I want to end the show with this conversation. The draft. The draft, the draft, the draft. Right now, you got Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State wide receiver. You got Caleb Williams, USC quarterback. You got Alamo Waza, I can't say his name. Fashino, he's a offensive tackle from Penn State. You got Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia. You got Drake Maya, quarterback from North Carolina. And these you're just top 10. J.C. Latham, Alabama, offensive tackle. Joe Alt, Notre Dame, offensive tackle. Kalen King, Penn State, cornerback. You got Kool-Aid. I like that name. Kool-Aid McKinstry, a cornerback from Alabama. And then you got Leonard Taylor from Miami, a defensive lineman. And I'm surprised because there's some names on the list that should be on here that I don't see, at least in the top 10. It's like, I don't know what happened. The kid the quarterback out of Ohio, he's not coming out. I mean, out of Oregon, I forget his name, but oh well. But these are the top 10 based on CBS NFL. As it stands right now, Chicago got the number 1 pick because Carolina got that pick and they give it to Chicago. What do you think Chicago should do with that pick?
Go out there and if you can, trade it away because you do have 2 first rounders, if I'm not mistaken.
What they need.
And
it's crazy.
If you can't trade it away, go ahead and get you a tight end, man. As crazy as it sounds, no one wants to give you anything for that number 1 pick. Just go out there and get you that tight end, man.
I would defer to an offensive tackle. I would go get it. If you go get a tackle, then that means you're 100% committed to Justin Fields. If you go get a tackle. Wide receiver, you could be setting up the next run of quarterbacks in 2025. But if you get offensive tackle, that means you're committed. Unless you spend a lot of money in offseason, because that's what's going to come down to. They're going to have to spend some money in offseason. They're going to have to spend some big money in offseason to get some cats over there. I don't know who's a good fit for Caleb Williams at this time. Other than maybe Minnesota. Joshua Dobbs, I love the kid, but he's not a starting quarterback. I don't know what Minnesota. I got to look at the draft order right now. Actually, the season not over yet. We won't really see the true draft order until it gets, to the final season. But when the season's over, we're definitely going to have the conversation. But I mean, Bryce Young just got there. Obviously, Anthony Richardson, he'll be there. I mean,
the Giants should just pull the trigger, man.
The Giants need a quarterback. The Patriots need a quarterback. The Jets are going to roll their dice on Aaron Rodgers coming off ACL. They ain't got no choice. I just don't. I mean, it's hard to look at these rookies because I mean, like Ritter in Atlanta. I mean, you just can't give up on them at this point. The Carolina Panthers firing their coach. I heard so many confliction behind this. Is it too soon?
Yeah, it's too soon. Wait until the offseason. Make the right choice and don't try to make that choice right away. Yeah. Because we've seen in the past where people make the first hiring and it never works out because they don't do their homework.
Yeah.
And you gotta look at the type of culture you want built in your building. and they're not picking the right people to steer that culture into the right place.
Right.
Like look at Jacksonville when they had before Doug Peterson, they had who did they have?
Um,
That head coach that came over from college.
yeah, I'm pulling
He
up
was
right now. Here it is right here. Boom, boom, boom. Urban Meyer.
yeah, he did not have a good culture in the locker room at all. You could tell his
Right,
team did not want to play for him towards the end of the season, and
right,
they
right,
did the right thing. They got rid of him, and they took their time. And what happened? They ended up with Doug Peterson pulling him from retirement, and look at where
right.
they're at right now.
I when obviously when Urban Myers got fired, Josh McDaniels losing his job, and we're talking about these coaches who've been on the short leash: Josh McDaniels, Urban Meyer, Brian Flores. It's always something not necessarily tied around to the performance of the coach. I think there's a lot of conflict when it comes down to uh, being on one page with management. Obviously, we saw what was going on in Miami with Brian Flores. They wanted Brian Flores to tank. They wanted him to go get Joe Burrow. He didn't tank enough to get him. Uh, that was a big conflict. And then the whole scenario with trying to get Brady to come over to Miami. We'll give you part of the stake of the organization underhandedly if you come over, which got Stephen Ross in trouble. Now you're seeing the situation with Urban Myers, obviously with his antics, going to a bar and all that stuff, not going back with his team, and just him not being on the same page with the organization, what got him out of there. And there's been rumors that the coach over at Carolina, them and the ownership wasn't really getting along based on when it came down to what he really wanted. Some say they should have got CJ Stroud with that pick, but they got Bryce Young. People are not happy. Josh McDaniels, that goes without saying. We see the type of relationship they had over there in that organization. And I just feel like when you don't give a coach that chance, we can sit back and say it's too soon. You got to give him a chance to cook. You got to get a chance to build organization. And that's all right and fair. And this is something that, we can say this right now, sitting in our chairs on the couch, trying to be, sit outside looking in. That's definitely the case. But when it happens, obviously, it's not necessarily about the coach's performance. There's something going on, with relationship, They always say
Right.
a two vision is a division, you know what I'm saying? And I think I could be wrong, but that seems like I don't think they're on the same page, because we've seen some coaches get held on for less, you know what I'm saying, for having worse performance than he have, and they've been seeing like they go 6-7 years before they get cut. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. We don't know what goes behind closed doors either. And plus,
yeah,
if one of your top players comes to you as an owner and tells you, "Hey, I don't like this coach, not the right mindset, or I don't want to play for him," what
yeah,
are you gonna do? That's just one player. Fine. Another player comes to you, tells you somewhat the same thing. Another player comes up to you and tells you the same thing. Well, you ain't got no choice but to cut the head coach, because you're not gonna get rid of the player.
right. They GM and their organization gave up a lot to get that Bryce Young pick. They gave up a lot. And so now it's like, now it's not quite going the way you want it to go.
Plus, it
somebody's head got to roll, and why not the coach? You know what I'm saying? Coach is why not? That's just what it is. Here's the crazy situation, and I don't know how true it is, but I heard this on a nightcap with Shannon and Ocho. Rumors are that Caleb Williams threw it out there that whatever team drafts him, he want a stake in the organization.
I mean, he's being smart. Might as well,
Bruh, you can't do that. You like what player? That's the exact same thing they got Stephen Ross in trouble with Brady. The exact same thing. It was reported they were going to try to woo Brady. They tried to woo Brady over to Miami by saying, we're going to give you a part of the company, but we're not going to put it on record. We just wink, we got you. You know what I'm saying? And then the bell whistles came out, and then all thing went to crap. And then, of course, Stephen Ross got suspended for 6 games, their owner, behind that. And they was found guilty of tampering. He coming out saying that right now, and he even got drafted. What it seems to me is that he's trying his best not to go to a team that's struggling.
Hence, that's why he cried. That's probably one of the reasons he cried.
That's why he cried. He cried because he don't want to do. But you know what? Trying to ask for stake in a company that is a stretch, and that is a very, very bold move. That is a very that's him trying to throw ultimatum out there. That's trying to pull the Eli Manning, telling teams where he want to go without actually doing it the Eli Manning way. But I get it. I honestly get it because Justin Field, Trey Lance. Let's start with Trey Lance. Trey Lance career was mishandled by the 49ers. Justin Fields' career was mishandled by the Bears. Okay? Bryce Young's career is in jeopardy being mishandled by the Carolina Panthers. Now we're talking about guys who can actually play. We're not going to talk about the guys who had the number 1 pick and they came in and just was a damn flop. You know, we can go down the whole list of that. But Justin Field is a baller. Bryce Young is a baller. I mean, god dang, who I named before?
Would you put Geno Smith in that conversation? Because he went to the Jets, and you saw how that turned out. Now that he's with the Seahawks, he's been successful.
No. No, because I watched Geno Smith when he was with the Jets, and it didn't look good. It just didn't look good. It took him. What they should have done was got him in a later round and maybe developed him more. But picking him the way they picked him and put him in a situation where he had to be the guy right off the bat, that's not unfair to him. Because this development that he took, these years it took, he needed that to be the quarterback he is right now. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, when you look at these quarterbacks, you got to be fair because a lot of times you pull these guys in and a lot of them can't handle that stage. Kyler Murray handled it well. Obviously, Joe Burrow handled it well. C.J. Stroud is handling it well right now. Lamar Jackson handled it well. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these other quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson was a second-round quarterback, so it don't even count. But a lot of these quarterbacks that came first round had all that weight on them, and they just didn't do well. I mean, Arizona went through it 3 times, or 2 times before they finally got it right with Kyler, and you see where he is. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you destroy these guys' career, and so with Caleb Williams and his emotions, I can see why he want to say that because I guarantee he don't want to go to Carolina, he don't want to go to Chicago, he don't want to go to none of those type of teams. But unfortunately, that's going to mean you. And he's also threatened to go back and play his senior year, go back and play another year. I don't know if it's senior year now, but he's Caleb Williams is he's going back. He threatened to go back to play his senior year in order not to reshuffle the cards. It's just like. Yeah, but if he goes back and play another year, you guarantee he's not going to play the whole year. He's not, which sucks because if he do that, he probably will be a 3rd, 4th, 5th rounder at best. Nick, if he go back and play, because I can't see him going out there balling out of control or try to ball out of control as much as he did this season. Unfortunately, they just had a bad team, and they come out there and be healthy again. Because, like Shannon say. It takes one Achilles, one ACL, one bad wrist, shoulder, anything to knock you out. Too many concussions, and boom, you falling out of the draft, and then you won't get your chance. So I think this is where gratitude comes in with these young men. Just be grateful that you're able to go ahead and make millions of dollars right away and get picked, and then just let your handle your career the best way you can. Be vocal. Talk to your coaches. Don't go off from there with this bad business mind and try to, make things happen. Just go out there and be the quarterback they expect you to be. But man, these offensive tackles, you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 offensive tackles in the top 10, and you got a couple cornerbacks in the top 10. And then you got a few quarterbacks. The first tight end is coming from Georgia. Dude, it's gonna be crazy. That means all those other quarterbacks, you got 2 quarterbacks in the top 10, and all those other quarterbacks are gonna fall to the second round, which is crazy because none of the top 2 quarterbacks, none of them are in the will be or in the top 10 as far as the rankings is concerned.
I wouldn't be surprised if none of them get chosen in the first round, man.
Caleb Williams or Drake Mayer or May, what the name? Ooh, we don't think Caleb Williams goes first round.
This
Hey,
draft has is deep with other positions that teams really need. I think
yeah.
it's gonna be positions over wants because Kelly Williams more like a want. It's like prioritize what your team needs and get the right guy for the job once you built that whole team up. You know.
If the New York Giants and the New England Patriots go up there and fight for a top 5 spot, you know exactly what's going to happen if they don't already have it. If they go out there and try to get the top 2 spots or top 3 spots, you know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get a quarterback, hands down. That's if they fight for if they make some trades or put some money out there to get that top spot because they're the 2 teams who need it the most, in my opinion. So if they make a move to get it, then yeah, they'll definitely try to get a quarterback because they don't need anything else but a quarterback. I mean, God dang, the Giants got Saquon. I mean, so the Patriots. I don't know. There's trouble in paradise. There's trouble in paradise. There's some Belichick maybe moving on, may get fired or mutually depart from them. The fans don't like it. His arrogance towards Tom Brady. It was reported that Tom Brady would have stayed if Belichick would have asked him to stay. And Belichick said he wasn't going to ask him to stay, and Brady said, "I'm gone." Brady wins to another team, wins the Super Bowl, and then retired 2 years after that. And he have had no success in this team since Brady's left. So they running back is running pretty well though. Stevenson, he's running pretty well. So they need a quarterback, and they need a coach. But the problem is, you turn around and get rid of Belichick. Where Belichick's gonna go? Because he's gonna get a job somewhere.
Like I said, he's been saying he wants to go to Washington. So
Yeah, I don't know. I hate it for Eric being enemy, but anyway. But this boy, hey Max, that's all we have. We've been on the thing for a little bit. I think that's all we have today. But man, this football season, I'm going to make my closing remark before you make your closing remarks. Y'all, this NFL football season has been one for the ages. This has been a football season that we has been expecting for a long time. This football season actually have had 2 games where they broke records. It was the Cowboys and Eagles game, and then the Eagles and who else played?
Eagles and Chiefs on Monday night.
The Eagles and Chiefs. The Cowboys and Eagles broke the first record. The Chiefs and Eagles broke the second record. Broke that record. There's been a lot of people who's came back to football. I know a lot of folks stepped away from football because of political stuff. It came down with the Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying? And we don't care about those folks. We get salty behind that. Then it came down to all the changing of the names, particularly the Washington Commanders and stuff like that. Just a lot of the political rhetoric has been thrown out there. Teams not want to go to the White House after wins. So a lot of people just kind of felt like, Sundays where they don't do politics or do any type of political or any type of social whatever. So they kind of stepped away from football. But NFL has gotten new fans as well as some of the old fans back. Fantasy football is on an all-time high this year. So, I mean, y'all, welcome back to football. And for those of you who may watch this podcast, but you've kind of stepped away from football, I would encourage you, man, don't give up on the game you've loved all these years because of some personal feelings or a political affiliation or whatever type of attachment you have to your personal belief system, whatever, unless, you are a faith walker and your faith tells you not to watch football. Then I digress on that. But this football season has been fun, and we're only going into week 13. There's still a lot of football left. We still got 6 more games to go? 5 more games to go? Weeks to
5.
go? 5 more games, and then 5 more weeks to go, and then the playoffs. Oh man, it's a long time to January, but man, we're loving it. Max, what you got before we get out of here?
Super Bowl or bust, man.
Super Bowl or bust for the Eagles, man. Yo, listen. Yo, this been your boy, the EC22 Fairweather Fan channel. Man, please, once again, like, subscribe, share, leave comments to the channel. Follow us on YouTube, man. Please follow us on X. Follow us on Facebook. If you're watching these videos on Facebook and you're not a subscriber to my Facebook channel, please, you may be a friend of mine on Facebook under Eric Curtis. But would you also please go over it to the Fairweather fan page and actually subscribe to that as well? We will greatly appreciate it. Fairweather fan page, please go over and subscribe to that if you haven't already. But definitely follow us on YouTube. Thank you, Ray, for tuning in on YouTube, man. That definitely help us out. But yo, man, listen, we're out. Tune in on Thursday when we do our weekly pick'ems, as well as get into more of the high school matchups, and as well as the college bowls and playoff system, whatever, on Thursday. Yo, this your boy C22, man. Thank you for watching, and we are out.